Hello, it's John, and this is part 7 of my story with primary progressive MS. I know it has been a while since my last video. It's been 7 months. I've had people asking me if I was going to make another one or not. Um, but honestly, I have procrastinated a little bit about making the video because if you remember in the last video, I promised that I was going to make a new series about how I was fighting this disease and the things I were doing to try to make it better. And honestly, this disease has been kicking my butt these last 7 months. So I'd have felt a little hypocritical making it a series about how I was fighting it and the things I was doing when really it has been knocking me out. For instance, in my last video, 7 months ago, I was talking about how I was working out and exercising. I was swimming and how I actually improved my balance doing that. I was planking, I was doing leg lifts, uh, leg and core exercises, as well as like treading water for up to 10 minutes. And I was doing that all through the ache in my legs. And oh, by the way, the ache, I found a new way to describe that. My legs feel like when you fall asleep on your arm and you wake up and your arm is completely deprived of oxygen. You know, it's all numb and tingly and aches. Okay, that's how my legs feel 24/7. So if you can imagine trying to lift weights with your legs feeling like that, or even lift weights with your arm feeling like that, you can understand how hard it was for me. But I have been humbled yet again by this disease. Um, I'm no longer able to exercise. I didn't give it up easy. It started with muscle tremors in my legs. I'd be doing like the leg lift or the leg press, you know, where you put the, and my leg would just start bouncing, man. I'd be sitting there on the machine, and it would be going so fast. I can't move my leg that fast if I try. Consciously, I can't do it, but for some reason, when I was straining it like that, it caused some sort of nervous reaction where that thing was going nuts. And, you know, our legs are really, really deprived of oxygen anyway, and that's why people get tired, like when they're running or anything like that. You know, your muscles get deprived of oxygen. Well, our circulation is so bad with MS. So when it's popping like that, it totally wore my leg out. And it was kind of painful, really, to sit through that. It was painful because I couldn't stop it. It was going like that and going crazy. So you can't walk like that. You can't lift weights when it's doing that. And then by the time it's done, you're spent. Um, and then there was also, I would work out to a point where I was breathing so heavy, you know, and I kind of would break out in a cold sweat, and I would get lightheaded because, again, we're deprived of oxygen for some reason. Our circulation is bad, and I would actually get nauseous, feel like I was ready to puke. You know, that's the point where I would stop working out, of course. It started to happen where that was, even after one set, I was starting to get like that. So you can't continue on when it's like that. So eventually I had to stop doing that. I mean, it wasn't worth me going to the gym for that. No, I don't regret the time that I spent exercising because, like I said, I really did build up my core. I really did improve my balance. So if you are able to do that, if you are able to fight the regular aches and stuff like that, you know, do that during the time period that you are able to, because it will get to a point where you're not able to, and that it's frustrating. But anyway, now I've talked about before the mental and emotional struggle, the mental and emotional struggle that MS puts you through, and that is something that we can fight. The physical side, I was trying to fight it, but there was no way I could win that battle. It's just impossible, and that's the same way with all of us with MS. But the mental and emotional struggle can be summed up in this way: do not give in to all the frustration that you feel. Now, that is something we have to remind ourselves of all the time, because if you give in to frustration, you're going to react probably in one of two ways. And the first is you'll give up. You won't even try anymore. The frustration can lead to serious depression, and then you just don't care about doing things for yourself anymore. Even when it's something that you could do. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's going to be hard to do things, but you just kind of give up. You always rely on other people to do things. You don't even try anymore. But doing things for ourselves, and even especially doing things for others, even though it may be hard, that is something that gives us self-worth, and it is crucial to our emotional well-being. So my friends out there, you guys that have MS, keep trying to do what you can do, even when it's hard. You will be better for it. You'll have a better mental state. The second way you can give into frustrations is actually by becoming so irritable that you are actually a bear to be around. You end up being so jaded that you actually take out your frustrations on, and you're really rude to those around you and people that love you and are trying to take care of you. You're just a jerk to them. Now, I've seen this response mainly in men. We have a hard time with the pride thing, okay? But they even know that they're being a jerk and acting unreasonable and stuff like that. They still have a hard time not acting like that. They feel like such a burden, and they hate it so much that they can't control the loathing they feel about themselves, and they take it out. They take it out on whoever they're around. But my brothers and even some of you, my sisters out there, I know you've had to swallow your pride more than any person should have to. You've had to become the kind of person that you never wanted to be, and that is one that has to rely on other people. But you are only going to make it harder on the people around you and the people that are trying to help you if you are totally a butthead to them. So I get it. I get it. You actually may want to push those people away because you feel so much like a burden and so useless. You feel like those people will be better off without you. But you can't allow yourself to feel like that or to think like that. You have to be stronger than that. And then take pride in that strength. Take pride in the strength that you have not allowed yourself to become that type of person. I think we can all agree, no matter how we deal with our frustrations, that the one thing we do not want to turn into more than someone that has to rely on somebody else so much is someone who is miserable to be around, and someone that takes their frustrations out on others in the process. That can actually make taking care of us harder on them. And it is hard to control either reaction that people have. It's very hard to control. And I'm not saying don't complain about it at all, because sometimes we can't stop ourselves. We have to vent. Those caregivers out there, or people that are close to us, friends, understand that sometimes we do have to vent. We have to say stuff. And although I do try to control just how much I complain, my wife still gets an earful about my hatred of what's going on to my body. And I apologized to her the one day, and I said, I'm sorry I complained so much. And I'm going to share with you caregivers out there what she said to me. She said, I just listen. She said, I wish I could change it. I wish I could take it all away, but I can't. But I know you need a vent, so I just listen. And I'm going to tell you, that meant so much to me. I felt really the care and the kindness that she had for me. So, caregivers, friends, family members of people that have MS, sometimes just let us vent. Just listen. Don't try to give us all these suggestions about how we can improve our lot in life or anything like that. We don't need that. We just need someone that cares enough to listen. And that goes a long way. It really does. And people with MS, try your best to be positive. Don't be negative all the time. All right, it's you got to control how much you complain. If you talk about positive things and things that are enjoyable, and you can actually be you can actually make it easier on your caregivers and those around you. Um, and that's something that you can take pride in also, that you're making it easier on them. So again, try your best to be positive. Also, on a side note, probably best to take showers. If you're not working like I haven't been, sometimes the days run to each other and you forget to take one. And you don't want your wife or whoever it is coming home and saying, "You stink." When's the last time you took a shower? If you have to stop and think about it, that's not a good thing. So I'm trying to fix that. Take a shower every day. So in closing, I'm going to share a thought with you that one of my spiritual brothers in my congregation shared with me. And the full definition of joy, as described by Merriam-Webster, is the emotion evoked by well-being, success, or good fortune, or by the prospect of possessing what one desires. And I want you all to focus on that term, the prospect of possessing what one desires. I've mentioned many times before that in the Bible, Jehovah God does promise to step in and fix the world we live in and wipe out all of mankind's tears and pain sometime in the future. He promises to get rid of sickness and injustice and have this world be governed by his Son, Jesus Christ, and to even resurrect the dead. Now that takes faith to believe that, though. And Hebrews 11:6 says this about faith: "For whoever approaches God must believe that he is, and that he becomes the rewarder of those earnestly seeking him." So if we have faith in that prospect and that promise, no matter what we go through, we can still have joy. And that's a gift. And that anyone going through MS needs to have that gift. So to learn more about these promises, again, visit jw.org. You'll see videos, heartwarming articles that'll help you build faith in that promise. Well, that's my update. I hope it was encouraging, even though my situation is wasn't all good news, but I'm still going. So until next time, thank you for watching.